Live. All right, I'm live. Now let's push this up. There we go. Let me shut my office door. Okay. You can still see the water barrel in the background. That's cool. Put that bad boy on. There we go. Let's go. Hi, Shirley. All right, come on. Let's go there, YouTubers. Get on here with me, man. Let's do this. Why does it look like I got a black eye? Because it's dark on this side of the room. Idiot. Horrible lighting. I don't know who does my light. Oh, I do my lighting. Never mind. Is there a better way to do? Oh yeah, there's a. Wait, did I unplug it? I sure did. Well, that's just fantastic. Is there a place to? Oh, I'll be right back. There is a place to plug in that other little light. Please, God, help me. Why does everything have to be so low? I'm going to build a house. Everything's going to be fucking huge. It's going to be way off the ground. People are going to come to my house and they're going to go, dude, why is everything so big? Why do we have to put our arms up like this on your table to eat dinner? And I'm going to go, yeah, that's right. That's how it is. Okay. Oh, ooh, that washes me out. I don't care. Look, wash me out if you want to. Bottom line is this. I have information. Looks like you're settling in your office. Yes. Slowly but surely. That's a little play on words there. That joke just wrote itself, Shirley. Would you prefer that we watch on YouTube? Yes, if you can. If you can watch it on YouTube, please watch it on YouTube. Woo! I just shot from 2 to 5. Yes. Okay. It's too friggin' hot for this. Yeah, and when I say hot, it's 80-something degrees here today. I'm not bitching. I'm not complaining. A little bit, just because. I'm not trying to rub it in, though. You knuckleheads in Minnesota. Look, there's a lot of good-looking people in Minnesota. Come on out here. 110 calls. Now, I didn't say 110 calls, did I? But that's pretty good. You know what you're doing. It's good. 110 calls is pretty good. Well, I mean, it's not the play that it was the other day when the market was absolutely eating shit burgers, but it's still good. And I'm look, my concern was a bear trap. Now, for those of you who don't know what a bear trap is this. It goes up, 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 and then down. And then it starts to go back up again. Everybody's like, I knew it. They're just shaking the turds out of the market. It's like they're wiping their butt. And he goes up, and just capitulation city. You're fucked. By the way, that's exactly what happened in 2011. And yes, I did get caught holding some, not all, but some of my silver too long. That's why I am looking for the fucking bear trap everywhere. And I thought we might be in one. That would be bad. That would be very bad. But JD Vance just did something. Wow. My fingers smell so good right now. I just want to chew on my finger. Yes, I was slicing garlic. I love garlic. Garlic is my friend. Let silver go down, then buy. Well, there is something to be said for that. Because look, it's like, okay, did it go down? Yes. In 2011, it went down. Did it stay down? No, it didn't, did it? I'm not going to tell you what I'm drinking. And the reason is they're not paying me. Oh, yeah, I've gone full YouTube. I'm a social whatever the fuck they call themselves these days. I'm one of those guys now. You want me to advertise your drink? Pay me. Give you the money. No, you give me the money. That's what I'm saying. And then I will advertise your outstanding products only. Speaking of outstanding, this makes me tear up just a little bit every time I look at it because she's so beautiful. Yep, if she were a woman, I'd marry her. Well, theoretically, she is because she's on every coin. Well, she used to be back when liberty was a thing. Now liberty's a thing somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm not going to talk about Israel because we know what happens when we talk about Israel. Satan's greatest trick was to make people believe that he didn't exist, but he is real. That's all I have to say about that. By the way, for those of you who didn't see the video that I posted on TikTok and on the YouTuber, I think, good evening, Esther. I did mention that the Federal Reserve was created during a break when nobody was there to oppose it, and the Federal Reserve Act was passed as an early Christmas present, December 23rd, to Satan himself. December 23rd, 1913. That is when the Federal Reserve Act was passed. Now, what's interesting is that we got directly into a war right after that. What are the odds of that, right? Let's see. By the way, I'm going to look at something real quick here. I'm just looking up who controlled the banks. Central banks in World War One. I know you guys will tell me because you already know this, but right. The Warburgs. Now, this is going to be a little weird for those of you who are not enlightened in things that are not conspiracies. What are the odds of that being linked to the Titanic? Unfortunately, strange as it sounds, 100%. Because would the most powerful men in the world be willing to kill 1,600 peasant, commoner, trash in order to kill 3 of their biggest opponents? Of course. Look, the Warburgs, perfect example. So Max Warburg and Paul Warburg, prominent brothers who led influential positions in major central banking institutions on opposite sides of World War I. Oh, yeah, no shit. So Paul Warburg is working with the Federal Reserve Bank of the United States of America, and he is, he's in control of our economic policy. And his brother Maximilian is over on the other side working for Germany. Well, what the fuck are the odds of that? What are the odds? One's here in the United States, one's in the enemy's central bank in Germany. The odds are 100%, my young friends. I'm still bullish on silver. Yes. Have you seen Mike? Is he in the room with me right now? Don't answer that. I don't like that medium shit. That shit bugs me big time. So Max Warburg was a key figure in the German government. And Paul Warburg, well, his brother had come over to the United States and was in charge of this side. Huh. So strange. So strange. Each brother helping their respective country mobilize for war. Max Warburg and Paul Warburg. Why didn't anybody make a movie about this? Two brothers, one on each side of World War One, where millions and millions of you stupid fucking peasants lost your lives. Not you peasants. I don't mean you peasants. I mean your grand peasants and your great grand peasants. They're the ones who lost their lives. I can't believe it. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, look, my great great uncle, he got kicked out of the family because he fought for the North. He was on the side of the coloreds. Are you still bullish on America? Well, I mean, after what JD Vance said today, yeah, of course. We're just gonna. No, am I bullish on freedom in America? No, we're about to lose the last little bit of freedom we have. Period. We're literally we are just full blown fucking pedal to the metal, foot to the floor, heading for a brick wall when it comes to the freedoms that we're supposed to have in this country. What about Prescott Bush? Hey, Prescott Bush, same thing. The only difference is Prescott Bush was World War II, and he was just on this side. Now, did the United States almost choose to go with Germany during World War II? Yeah, of course. But then we realized that, look, as much as we don't like some of their politics, England is just much more vast. The empire was still so much larger than Germany's. So we chose to go with the stronger of the two. It's the same reason that we chose to go with China instead of Russia. We were in peace talks with fucking Russia. And then they got in a little tiff, little kerfuffle, little dust up with China, and China kicked their ass. Look it up. It was on a little island and a little river in a little part of nowhere in northern China, right on the border of China and Russia. Russians said, "Hey, that island in the middle of the river, that's ours." And the Chinese said, "Oh no, that's our island." Well, needless to say, they couldn't sort of hash it out over a beer, so they decided, "Fuck it, let's fight." And the Chinese almost immediately whooped their ass. And we said, you know what? Fuck you, Russia. We're going to go with China. Otherwise, China would have been the bad boys for this whole time, and we'd already be in bed with Russia. And Russia and us we'd have a common fucking language by now. It's crazy. Well, I'm following the Carrington event warnings. Yeah, I'm fucking watching the sun like a hawk, man. Look, if that thing goes off again, look, it's just shitting out X flares like they're going out of business. This is the most dangerous solar flare. This is the most dangerous sunspot, 4366, by the way, that I've ever seen. This thing is just one after another. And the leading umbra, it has sort of softened up a bit, but the trailing umbra, all of it is very, very mixed. And it lit off another X4, I believe it was. So it scares the shit out of me, man. That's the kind of thing where we go from where we are now back into the 1800s, and then I got a cowboy up. Can't wear my other hats anymore. Gotta wear this one and get a horse. And you don't want to steal a horse, because if we're back in the 1800s, that's going to get you shot. Oh, northern Utah, you're totally going to see it. Northern Utah, that's beautiful up there, man. That is seriously God's country. And not just for the Mormons, although I have no problem with them either. Look, I don't have a problem with anybody that doesn't have it written somewhere in some dusty goddamn book that they follow like a hawk that says, you got to wipe me out. You know what I'm saying? If you have somewhere written in your book that I'm not a human and that you have to kill me at some point, well, we're not going to get along. This is going to be a fist fight you won't ever forget. That's just the way it is. I mean, look, I don't start fights. To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever started a fight in my entire life. The sun is definitely the worst threat. Well, there's Israel, then the sun, and AI. But I honestly think that Israel may be using AI on the rest of us. Because if you look at all the big AI companies, who owns them? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just looking at who owns the goddamn things. You know, like who owns Facebook? It's a guy named Zuckerberg. Okay. And who sank the Titanic? His uncle, Iceberg. No, I made that up. Yeah, I mean, if we get a massive solar flare, it gets ugly fast. If we get AI that decides that there's only one small group of humans that actually deserve to survive, we get a whole other kind of mass extinction event. And like I said, who owns everything now? Well, that's my point. How can the drop silver $10 an ounce just now? Okay. I'm not sure what you said there, so I'm going to go and check it out. 76. Well, because it's war. That's exactly what this is. I guarantee you that now that the market's closed, because Globex is open, but now that the COMEX is closed, they probably bumped up their requirements again for margin, trying to shake everybody out of the market, trying to keep people from making too much money. So in the last 6 months, it's only up 98%. In the last year, it's only up 136%. I'm still not worried, but 76, they're shaking hard, man. They're shaking. They're trying to get everybody out of this fucking market so they don't have to pay so much. And this is directly after JD Vance just announced that there will be a floor set for the price of metals, period. If you want to bring metals into the country, if you want to get them out of the country, whatever, you have to pay this price, period. Okay, well, that's government manipulation. That's not a free market. On the other hand, it's government manipulation in my favor. And so, as much as I hate government manipulation, I'll take it. I'll take it. That's what they want to do. They're going to look. The idea that we have a free market is so quaint. It's so cute. It's like, it's almost like you don't understand when people say things like that. Like we're gonna manipulate the price of silver for you. What? Okay. Max X-ray flux in the past 2 hours is 2.3. Okay. X1 solar flare with Earth-directed CME. Wait, that was the 18th? Get the fuck out of here. Although, that does lead me to point out that we are in the solar maximum right now. Let the market pretend to minute. Oh, look at this. We got a bunch of stuff that's been sterilized for my comfort. Okay, there we go. Let the market pretend to manipulate silver. Let me go down and buy it. Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine and Russia is a joke. It's an absolute joke. It's the United States of America and the Europeans trying to break Russia and using Ukraine, because we don't give a fuck about Ukraine. So we're using Ukraine as the hammer. and we're beating on Russia. And we're expecting Russia not to do anything about it because, well, look at who we are. You better not. On the other hand, if we go too far and we push them to the point where we have put them into a box they can't get out of, if we become a true existential threat to the future of Russia, they're going to use hypersonic nukes on Europe, and we're not going to do a goddamn thing about it. We will sit here with our thumb up our ass and we will not touch that button. And if you think we will, you're stupid. Because if they don't launch directly at us, we're going to stay the fuck out of the way. There's no reason for us to commit suicide. That is exactly what entering a war with Russia is, and we all know it. It's called mutual assured destruction. If they attack Europe, that's not mutual assured destruction. It's not even close. It's Russia attacking Europe. And we stay the fuck out of it and pretend like we didn't see anything. And then when the fallout falls out, we go over and we help rebuild. Oh, and we make nice with Russia. Because the reality is we should have made nice with Russia years ago. They have not done anything to us that we haven't done to them. This is a game that we all play. It doesn't make them evil. It makes them a country in the modern world that wants to lie, cheat, and steal for their own behalf. The United States of America is a country that lies, cheats, and steals for a small country that none of us live in. Think about the insanity of what I just said. That is really, really crazy. I joined the Marine Corps so that I could fight for the United States, for the freedom that I believe we have in the United States. I did not join so that I could defend people who hate me. Who the fuck would do that? Like, who does that? I'm going to go join the Marine Corps and I'm going to literally poisoning because I want to defend people who think that God is burning in a lake of shit. Well, my version of God, which is clearly not really God because Christians are idiots. That's why they spit on us and kick us and burn down our churches. Join commercial deals with Russia and China, winning deals. I think we should. I mean, look, China doesn't like us and we don't like them. We got nothing in common. We have no common society. We got no common language. We've got no common belief structure. We're totally different in every way possible. It's just like you look at the way that people act when they come over here and you go, no. It's super cool to be really shitty and mean to the people who are serving you in China because it shows that you're above them, that you're the higher class human. Look, we don't need that shit here, In commercial, we have everything in common. No, not really. They make garbage products and lie to our faces about what they are. God only knows what they're putting in our medicines. No, I just absolutely do not trust them. They've been lying to us nonstop for 30 years, and I'm done. I'm just done. They are more of a threat to the United States of America than you could possibly imagine. And that's coming from somebody who has studied. I've studied the asymmetrical warfare that they're putting on us right now. And let me tell you something. You do not understand how far ahead they are. How many Americans have immigrated to China and are now wandering around the countryside unannounced? Thank you. Appreciate that. Have to report us buying silver. Fuck no, I'm not going to report buying silver. No. When they send something to me specifically and they say you have to take down a driver's license and all this other shit, then I will do what I need to do. But for the time being, no. You tell me who you are, and I got no reason to doubt you. Maybe I understand how far ahead they are. Has not our own government lied to Americans for over 75 years? Not about 175 years, but yeah, 75 for sure. Like, and it's not the government, because the government doesn't, there's no government anymore. Okay. There's governance, but our government left. They left town. They said, hey, look, you guys with the suits, you guys in the boardrooms, you have a vision of where you want to go, and we're just sort of shuffling around in circles down here on the floor of the Senate. Taxes, no taxes, build another road, whatever. This shit's boring. But you guys seem to know, like, you got a very clear vision of the future and a lot of money. So you give us some of that money and we'll let you drive. And that's what happened. So, the military industrial complex is incredibly powerful. But then again, so is the oil industry, incredibly powerful. And don't forget about the pharmaceutical industry, extremely powerful. But what about the banking industry? Oh, fuck, they're powerful. Oh my God, what about insurance? Making money out of death and destruction. Wow, they are super, super powerful. How powerful is the government? Bunch of fucking dipshits that make $35,000 a year making regulations nobody listens to. So, yeah, things are interesting for us. Okay, so yeah, we just took a big shit. We opened up, got up to 89, 90. Yeah, we got up to 90, and then just off the cliff. Well, we're going to find out if this is a bear trap or not. They just announced a floor for metals. Why it would be dropping like this when the supply is absolutely an issue. The only thing I can assume is they're trying to shake out as many people as they possibly can before a delivery date comes up. Because I do know that they had approximately 500 million ounces due in February, and they had approximately 100 million ounces that they had in their possession, like in the vaults. Yeah, and so we'll see. We'll see how far it drops. I mean, if it drops much more, well, I'm going to tell you guys to start buying like crazy, because look, we're damn near half of where we were before. Think about that for a second. This is not a normal market. This is not what happens. You don't have somebody who needs a specific material who keeps bidding up the price of that material because it's so important, and then all of a sudden it just falls by 50%. That doesn't happen, not in the real world. So this is not the real world. What is it? This is the world of finance. This is where, with enough advanced mathematics, you can prove that you can dangle an elephant off of a cliff whilst holding nothing more than a dandelion. Now, it takes a lot of fuzzy math to do that, but you can do it. Yeah, see, that's now we're talking. Now we're talking about reality, because let me check and see. They can say whatever the fuck they want, but let's see what you can actually buy it for. Now, this is the price. This is a spot price in the United States, theoretically. Now, that's the theoretical price. let's take a look at 1 ounce rounds. Okay. So we're at 87, wait, $87 if you buy 500. $88 if you just buy a few. Usually 5 over. Yeah, that's about right. That was Silver Eagles. Okay, well, this is just generic rounds. I'm just talking about generic rounds. Generic rounds are literally uh, $88. So, yeah, what's it say the spot price is? Well, it says here spot price is 70, basically 76, and they want 88. And $12 over spot is not normal for anybody, ever, anybody. So now we all know that Amex is, fucking highway robbery. They deliver on time most of the time. So, all right. Let's see, what do we got here? SD bullion. Historic demand is causing processing, shipping, and phone call delays. But it's dropping. Geez, I wonder what the fuck that's about. All right, let's see. All right, so okay, well they're a lot better. So a Scottsdale Silver Eagle, like that matters, is as low as, well, if you just buy a few, it's 87, 88.14. Wait, isn't that more than Atmex? Was that what? No way, that can't be more than Atmex for Christ's sakes. Yeah, it was. Uh, yeah, 88.14, and they're saying 87.93. Hey, whatever, man. I never considered silver as a bad. It's never a bad idea. Well, that's the problem. Is it did go up like a meme stock, and you're never going to get. And that's why. How many times did I tell you guys? Think about this, because I said this over the last month. I said I don't want it to go up too fast because then we get, if things start to get a little wonky. We want a nice, slow but steady increase, because once you get above about approximately a 45-degree angle, it's nuts. U.S. mints of 170 for a Silver Eagle. Oh, hey, mint, kiss my ass for 170. And then I'll let you have an eagle. Vicious moves. Momo meltdown. What is going on? Hedge funds are hammered. Oh, yeah. How do you guys like that? The Magnificent Seven, the ones that can never lose money. Well, hi there, Marion Mesa. How the heck are you? They have enough silver for now. They don't want silver. They need silver. They have enough silver for now. They didn't want silver. They need silver. Yeah. What you said. Did you know that Sahara countries, if they all form an alliance, it's called the Sahelian Alliance? I didn't know that either. But it looks like we're trying to balance Russia's role as a top security partner with a bunch of places like Nigeria. Because we love them and we want them to be safe. It has nothing to do with them bending over in the shower to pick up soap we dropped. Because the United States government doesn't do that. Oh, shit. What? Bill Gates, Reid Hoffman deny Epstein malarkey, and here's some weird shit. And I quote, your littlest girl was a little naughty. It's almost it's almost like they want us to know. It's like when a murderer goes back to the scene of a crime, he just can't resist himself. He just has to go back and take another look to relive it. And it's almost like these fuckers want to just rub in our face the fact that, yeah, well, yeah, we kind of really are better than you. And we are allowed to do whatever the fuck we want. And if that means little boys, that's what we'll do. And you know, if it's in a country that has outlawed that many, many years ago, I will keep it a secret. And if it's not, if it's in a country that, is Muslim or Jewish, then we'll just say, hey, it's cultural, piss off. By the way, that's not my opinion. Tic Tac, so don't kick me off for misinformation. I've read some of the Talmud, mostly just the really shitty, nasty, horrible parts that make you go, nobody believes this, right? Like you don't live like this, right? Like nobody does this shit for real. Yeah. Yeah, they kind of do actually really do that for real. And it's hard to wrap your head around, you know? Look, is it misinformation to quote hundreds and hundreds of servicemen coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq saying that the thing that they heard the most as a joke about adult entertainment was that women are for babies, and boys are for fun. Okay, that's not that just doesn't fly, man. Yeah, I guess maybe they are. Maybe they're just, it's like because the crazy part is these are the same people that we worship. Like we worship wealth. We all have this slave mentality. Not all of us, but a lot of us have a slave mentality of if I had money, everything would be perfect because that's what the master has. The master has money. And if we had money like the master, then clearly that's all we would need to be equal to the master. That's not how society worked. For 10,000 years, that's not how society worked. Whether you had money or not, there were expectations that were put upon you, man or woman, boy, girl, doesn't matter. You had expectations put upon you, and you either lived up to them or you paid the price. There were consequences, real consequences for failure. The legend of the lone traveler. That's bullshit. You didn't just wander the forests of medieval Europe or Russia or Siberia or anywhere else, the Middle East. You didn't just wander around. If you were alone and you wandered, somebody got you and killed you. Well, it's a funny thing that you say that because that is the slave mentality. Answer me this. Why is it that almost all of the people who win the lottery end up destitute? Not back to where they were, completely destitute, homeless, penniless within 5 years. But people who are what's the word I'm looking for? Diagnosed with terminal cancer, who live 5 years cancer free after that diagnosis say that the cancer itself is the best thing that ever happened to them. 85% of people who are diagnosed with terminal cancer and then beat the cancer and live past the 5 year mark, which is sort of the magic number, they look back and say that the cancer itself is the best thing that ever happened to them. Explain that one to me if money's so fucking awesome, because it's not. Money is a magnifier. If you are happy and you live a good, solid, simple life, more money should theoretically make you happy. If you have good friends and a good family who have good morals and good ethics, good principles, and if you don't, and all of a sudden you come into an enormous amount of wealth, well, it gets ugly. Money also doesn't solve your life problems. Jeffrey Epstein was chosen. Yes, he was. I just watched an interview with him, and I was frankly stunned at how cogent, coherent, clearly he spoke, how affable and likable he was in the interview. I don't understand. I don't understand what he did. I question now a lot because he was a guy who had a lot of very sensitive information about a very large amount of people. Okay, well, that's a double-edged sword. That's the ability to get things done, but it's also the sword of Damocles. One false move, if that string breaks, you're done. Started with cancer 2010. Still got it. 16 years later? Well, I mean, I guess in a way you could say you're beating it because shit, living for 16 years with cancer is not something most people do. Well, it's a funny thing. There's a group of people that are very much like him. So I'm not sure if he had a demonic soul or if he just had a belief system that is not uncommon to at least 9 million people I know of in just one country alone. They believe what he believes. First of all, they believe that children are not off limits for that sort of activity. Period. Fucking says so in the Talmud. Period. Like, I'm not making this up, man. This isn't my opinion. I'm not judging them and saying, "Oh, this is awful." Okay, yes, I am. I'm saying that. But here's my point, is that my judgment is irrelevant. The world's judgment as a whole is what matters. And if the world as a whole says that to violate a 3-year-old means nothing because their hymen will grow back, so it's more like a poke in the eye where it hurts, but it's in the long term, it means nothing. If the whole world says that's not a big deal, okay, I got outvoted on that one. But we have this schism, I don't know. This is the problem. I don't fucking know what's true anymore. What I do know is that in normal society, even the accusation of this is the kiss of death. So does that mean that people really do believe that this is an evil thing to do? Because the law is set up to make it so that just being accused of it means you're done. You don't have to be trial and all that shit. No, if you like, just be accused of it. That's why. That's why the CIA, when you see somebody that's up there that's really ripping into the government, and boom, kitty porns on their computer, it's like, really, again? This goes back 50 years now. I mean, since the beginning of the internet. So it's almost to the point now where it's like a meme. It's like, don't stand up to the government, or otherwise, pictures of you and some 12-year-old boy. That's the way it works. So, but then there's all of these powerful people are actually fooling around with 12-year-old boys. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, our society says this is terrible, and then all the people who run our society are doing it. Like, what? What the fuck is going on? And by the way, they think of themselves as so much better than us because they're doing it. It's not like they're doing it and they're horribly embarrassed. They're not embarrassed at all. They just don't want you to know because they don't think you can handle the truth. Okay, I don't get it. I don't understand. Maybe that's part of it somehow. It's like, okay, we're going to make these people think that anybody who does this is evil. But why would you do that if you're the one doing it? Wouldn't you want people to just sort of, unless the reason that you're doing it is as a show of power, as a show of wealth and privilege, that you're not a commoner and therefore the rules don't apply to you. But that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it theoretically. This is all I can find online, is they're doing it because of some secret thousands of year old cabal where they are different than us, and it's the synagogue of Satan, and it's the Babylon rising and Moloch and all this worship of Baal. Like, what does it all mean? Are they actually? I mean, are they really doing it because they think that it gives them power? Because that's stupid. I mean, come on. Hurt an innocent person. What does that do? Oh, I absorb their what? Their life force. It's fucking stupid. You don't absorb somebody else's life force by killing them. That's dumb. So I appease God. That's even more dumb. You would think that these people who apparently are the smartest people in the world, because they run all the banks and they run the insurance companies, they run everything. They brag like Jeffrey Epstein about the fact that, hey, we are in the 98th percentile all the time. Like, we are way smarter than anybody else in the world. Okay, but you actually believe that, like, what? Drinking the blood of a baby's good for what? Like, this is going to make you live longer? That's fucking stupid. It's just stupid. So what the hell's going on? Why? Doesn't make any sense to me. And look, I like to be fairly logical. Okay, they're contrary to all people. Why? Like, I'm a fucking contrarian. That's why I don't get invited to parties. Because people are like, well, man, Trump this, and oh my God, Trump that. And I'm like, no, actually, the shit's about to hit the fan. They're like, oh, who invited Buzzkill here? And then, if anybody invites me to a group of woke fucking liberal granola eaters, that gets ugly even faster, because I ask them where exactly I'm supposed to squeeze a baby out and exactly how big my tits will be when I start breastfeeding. I get kicked out of those even faster. Yeah, but that's the point. George Carlin said it's a big club and you ain't in it. But is it a big club? Like, what's the only thing that I can think of? The only thing that makes sense. They feed off the fear energy. Well, that's about the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. That's stupid. Have you ever been afraid? Like, have you ever thought you were going to die? Because I have several times. There have been several times where I have thought, well, fucking, this is it, man. This is fucking it. And you know what? I didn't have any old Jew hovering over me going, you smell so good, son. You just smell like fear. I just want to lick your armpit. I mean, what the fuck? That's stupid. Oh, you feed off the feet. No, you don't. That's adrenaline, man. You want adrenaline? Go base jump. You really want adrenaline? Base jump without a fucking chute. You'll get the biggest rush you've ever had for about 40 seconds. That's it. Yeah, but okay, but 32 Families Club. Explain it. Like, this is my point. Explain it. Well, it's a club with 32 families. Okay. And they do stuff. Got it. Okay. Fuck them. But again, what are we talking about here? Like, why are they doing this? It's a spiritual war. Well, yeah, but okay, how? Okay, so they worship Moloch. Like, so they actually are. You're telling me that this group of people who is so clever, so above us in terms of IQ, 115, 120, 130. The last time I checked, the average person that does theoretical math or physics, like astrophysics, has an IQ of 165. I know there's fuckers out there that are like, oh, I got an IQ of 200. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. Marilyn Von Savant is the highest ever recorded. And when she actually took the test, I checked, it was 172. Now, have they changed the test and bumped up the score a little? And is the rumor now 185? Yes, it is. Do people say that her IQ is over 200? All the time. Those are the same people who probably eat their boogers. So I don't listen to booger eaters. It's just a rule of mine. I will say this, though. If these people are so fucking smart, why do they think that there's actually a spiritual war to be had? There isn't one. There's no spiritual war. Money's not power. That's the problem. I don't think you can buy IQ. You can breed for IQ, which is a Jewish non-secret. And I know because I grew up around Jews, some really cool ones. That's one of the things that makes me the saddest about this is that they're getting sucked into this with all the ones that think that killing children in Palestine is okay because they're just Palestinians. They literally make the Waffen SS look like a bunch of pussies, and nobody seems to care. As a matter of fact, they're trying to pass legislation in the United States that says you can't even say anything bad about them. Period. Anti-Semitic means literally you get beat up and shit on in terms of business by the United States. 135. I don't think it doesn't really work that way. Whatever you were then, you're in that same ballpark right now. They feed off money. The whole club knows money is power. Okay. Well, if money is power, then why don't they just shut down the entire world and make us do what they want? Because money's not power. You can have all the money in the world, but enough guys with enough to lose that they don't care anymore. Well, I couldn't talk about it last year because I kept getting kicked off. Now I just don't fucking care anymore because, TikTok has gone from my number one source of finding clients to every single silver ad I go to is a scam. Every single one I've ever checked. I've never checked one and had to take me to a legit site. Or it says, okay, check out our offer, or, buy now, or click here for more information. I click on it and it takes me to some site that says, hey, $12 silver. And if you buy 15, you get 15 free. What the fuck is going on? Like, come on, man. You just Ellison, I get it. You bought this on behalf of the country that you send $100 billion to. Excuse me, $100 million a year. $100 million a year to the IDF, by the way, specifically to them, largest private donor in the world. He buys Tic Tac, and then he decides what? To destroy it? I don't get that. It cost him billions of dollars. Like, he doesn't have an infinite amount of money. So why would you buy a platform only to make it look like a complete fucking joke? Where are you driving us to? Like, you're beating up all your best content creators. I flip through the channels and I see all the content creators going, man, what is going on? Why are they shitting on me like this? Why are they treating me so bad? All I ever wanted to do was, be popular on TikTok. And now they've cut me down to 1/10 of 1 cent per 1,000 views or whatever it is. And, they can't make any money. Yeah, that's a big write-off, man. You're talking about billions of dollars. So does silver see 100 again? Oh, yeah. I'm going to say February for sure. I might even go so far as to say that by the end of February, you could see 130, 140. That's because this is one of two things. This is either the beginning of the end of silver because it's a bear trap and it's just a bull trap. Sorry. It's a bull trap and we're all in it. We all fell for it again. Or B, it's supposed to look like a bull trap. And if it's supposed to look like a bull trap, that means that they want us to be afraid that, oh shit, it just keeps going. All right, well, I guess maybe I waited too long and it hit its peak and it's on its way back down. Never try to catch a falling knife. Fuck that. All right, I'm going to wait. I'll wait until it gets down to 50, which of course it never would. A bull trap is where it goes up, 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 and then it starts to come down and everybody says, oh, well, is it going down for good or is it going to bounce? And then it starts to come back up again. And that's exactly what everybody's looking for. Confirmation that it was just a correction. And that you're just, all you're doing now is you got some confirmation down here that this was a consolidation. A bunch of people, all the dipshits got scared away because of that little drop. All of the people who are highly leveraged are out of the market now. And it's just us, just us real fuckers. We're going to the moon. And then it goes up a little bit and straight into the toilet. And the only people that fell for that shit were the real bulls. Because the bears were like, I don't know. I think I'll get out and wait and see. If it goes back over 100, then I'll buy it again. Which, of course, is terrible advice if you actually think it's going up. Look, it's at $75.80 right now. If you bought 1,000 ounces and it goes to 100 again, only to 100, never back to 120, that's a $25,000 return on your money. That's not fucking bad. So again, we'll see. Over the last 10 years, silver has done 416.95%, 41% per year. Over the last 10 years, over the last decade. Now, we can all agree that the last decade's been a clusterfuck of total, you want to talk about a kerfuffle on roids, that's it. What are we doing here? We got a crazy, full of shit president who actually seems to be doing some good stuff. Okay, there's an election that nobody believes except the people who want to believe it. And now there's this guy that can't remember to tie his own fucking shoes. And this guy is literally opening the borders and allowing as many immigrants in as possible. And who benefits from that? So don't buy or sell now. I hope it doesn't retreat to 55 because that'll scare everybody so bad that they won't buy it again until it hits 150. And that would be sad. That would be sad. I can tell you this. I'm not selling. Not a chance. Nope. And the reason I say that is because I see that, like, okay, let's look at the news real quick. What do we got? What's the headline? Okay, this is fucking stupid. Silver plunges amid renewed selling pressure. Where's the pressure coming from? Silver fell as much as 8.5% to around 80, a little more net, on Thursday, snapping a two-day rebound as precious metals faced renewed selling pressure and heightened volatility, despite hopes that dip buyers might step in and at lower levels. The decline in silver and other metals appear set to continue after the recent rebound failed to hold. The sell-off coincided with a stronger dollar. That's fucking bullshit. Fueled by hawkish signals from the Federal Reserve. That's fucking bullshit. And expectations of a slower pace of U.S. rate cuts. And additionally, geopolitical tensions eased after the U.S. and Iran scheduled a fresh round of talks Friday. Okay, so is that why it's getting better? Now that we found a Chinese fucking warship following the USS Lincoln, and we shot down an Iranian drone that was coming right at the carrier? Yeah. Now that Iran is saying, look, what do you want to do? You want to fight, fuck, or shoot marbles? It's up to you guys. Like, we're ready to get it on now. I think Iran's done. I think Iran is fucking done. And you know what? I don't want a piece of that. Yeah, could we win? Of course we could win, but at what cost? Well, the cost is going to be astronomically high. It's going to be astronomically high for the United States, and it'll be zero for Israel. And that's who we would be fighting this for. We're not fighting Iran because we are afraid of Iran. That's the funny part. Not everybody was meant to have money. No, absolutely not. You're totally right. That's why Jesus said, only the best of us should be rich. And the rest, well, go fuck yourselves. Wait. Was that what no, that's not what he said. He said something. He said something like that, didn't he? No, maybe not. Let's see. Oh my God. Okay, so I just read you an article that said that this is trading economics. And it said that silver plunges amid renewed selling pressure, one of which was the Middle East is so calm. But Reuters, at the same time, released an article that said gold rises 1% as geopolitical and economic tensions lift precious metals. Do you see what's going on here, folks? They're just throwing shit at the wall and just, let's see what sticks. Let's see what sticks. Okay, well, what about COMEX raising the margin requirements again in the middle of the night? Does it say anything about that? No. Wow, that's really well. You know what? Let's check it out. Let's go back some more. Let's see if we can find anything about anything here. All right, what do we got? 2 days ago? No, 3 days ago, silver's down 5%. Silver spot slumps more than 30%. COMEX, let's see. It's 20%. Gold slips nearly 8% after Trump's Fed chair choice firms the dollar. By the way, I saw how much the dollar firmed. Okay. And like now, obviously, if for those of you who are younger and you grew up on the internet, you know that most guys will say that's 12 inches. This is not 12 inches. By the way, as far as on a chart, this is a like 1/10 of 1%. That's how much the dollar firmed. So did silver and gold go down by 1/10 of 1%? No, they dropped by 40%. Like, how did silver drop by 40% when the dollar index, the Dixie, the DXY, how did that go up by what, a half a percent? And it made silver fall by 40%? Come on, man. Like, make it make sense. People are, where the fuck is the critical thinking here? Well, why do you chop up babies? Because it makes me more powerful. No, it doesn't. That's fucking insanity. Like it makes you just a piece of shit. No, it gives me more power because my God, look, there's only one God. We all agree on that. Period. There's one God. But I worship the devil. Who made the devil? It's fucking common sense here. Who made the devil? Well, God didn't really want to make the devil. He's hung over that day and then it just happened. Yeah, that's not how the story goes. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that conversation. So listen, Satin, you know you're my guy, right? You know I've always thought of you as like the most badass of all. Now if I were Satan at that moment, I would have said, I don't like this conversation already, Dad. Like I can feel this is like that time that you asked me to build a septic tank, but I had to pump out the old one by hand first with it, like shovel it out. Why am I feeling like that's this conversation in a nutshell? No, 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 no. Just sit down, son. Let me look. I've built the perfect world, and it's so perfect, in fact, that nobody knows what the word perfect means because it's just what there is all the time. Oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, because when it's 70 degrees, what is hot? I don't know. What's cold? I don't know. It's just what is 70 degrees. So I decided that in order for these people to appreciate the situation that they're in, which is really fucking awesome, I was going to I was going to come up with something that's the opposite of awesome. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Cool. All right, Dad. Well, ooh, well, that's going to be rough. Yeah, it's going to be the shits. There's no question about that. And because of that, you know, like I need somebody that I can trust that is going to make it shitty all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like really bad. You're suggesting I run hell, aren't you? Yeah. Well, I mean, since you put it that way, I mean, yeah, it's a great idea. Pretty smart kid. It's like, oh shit. Do I have a choice? Well, yes and no. I mean, you can say yes, or then I can just snap my fingers and then you'll say yes anyway, because I control everything in the universe, because I am the universe. Oh, okay. Wow. That'd be a hell of a conversation to be a fly on the wall in here, huh? Because then at that point, if you really are the illuminated one, the Lucifer, the enlightened one, the toughest of all the tough ones, that'd be crazy. Because it's kind of a lot like Judas actually. Like, hey, bro, I need you to betray me. No, not gonna happen. I'm not doing that. Yeah, you're the only one that will, because the rest of them, they're kind of sissies. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a sissy too. No, you're the guy I've always gone to with all the secrets and taught the mysteries to, and you're the guy. So you're gonna be the one that betrays me. That's just my opinion. Because look, why wouldn't it be like that? You know. But I'm just using logic now. if I wanted to go off the deep end, I could say that no, 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 adrenochrome is addictive. Although I can tell you this: why hasn't the West Silver been drained yet? Who says it hasn't? To be able to understand and evaluate values, you need to understand dichotomy. Yeah, is not is. It's a pretty popular thing for philosophers to talk about, the is not is theory, because something can't exist without its opposite. That's the dichotomy I think you speak of. So here's the thing about where we're going. I think it's all a distraction. I think that we're we're being used by people who understand that we're, in essence, and I'm including myself in this, we're stupid, we're tribal, and we're not all that smart, and we do believe in all these different levels of evil and happy and all these different gods and spiritual things that, you know, is adrenochrome addictive. Well, uh, have you ever gotten a rush from doing something scary and said, man, I got to do that again? Because I can tell you this: I've raced cars, I've raced motorcycles, I've bungee jumped, which for a 300-pound man is not the smartest fucking thing in the world. I've done a lot of things to chase adrenaline. I played college football at almost 40 years old. I did MMA from about 40 to about 55, almost 60. Yep, adrenaline, adrenochrome is definitely. Let me think. It would have been around my waist. Yeah, it was around my waist, not my ankles. Um, Jesus, that would suck. Um, you don't look a day. Don't look a day over 90. Shut up. Um, let's see. Uh, yeah, adrenaline's addictive, but not if you suck it out of a dead person's body. I mean, come on, that's just like, how does that even work? Like, look, if you're addicted to adrenaline, if you really like that, oh shit, that much, and believe me, there are levels. You get in a gnarly fight. Like I'm not talking about like, oh, you're drunk and your buddy says something and you wrestle around on the ground and you get covered with mud and you end up laughing about it later. Not that kind of fight. I'm talking about where you don't know what could happen, but if you get knocked out or down, you could get killed because the guy that you're fighting is actually a real bad human being and he may not stop. So you win or you could die. When a fight like that is over with, and I've been in several of them now, and luckily for me, I've won all of them. When that kind of fight is over with, the adrenaline dump that you have is so severe that you get sick to your stomach, you get a horrible headache. I mean, massive, massive headache. The adrenaline hangover is not a joke. I was actually having an adrenaline hangover once, leaning against a car in a public parking lot in, of all places, Beverly Hills, after beating the shit out of a guy who was a horrible human being. He was abusing an elderly man badly. He was literally beating an old man. And when I asked him to stop, politely, he started with the whole thing of, man, you don't know me, blah, 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 swinging his hands around. And so one thing led to another. Afterwards, I was leaning like this on the car with my head down, and this cop walked up and he had a juice pouch in his hand, and he held out the juice pouch and he said, "Hangover?" And I said, "Yeah, pretty bad." And he goes, "Here." I opened my eyes and I looked, and I was like, "Oh man, where'd you get that?" He goes, "Yeah, you got to carry a couple just in case." And he handed it to me. And I remember sucking on this like sunspot or whatever it's called and sucking on it. And his partner walks up. This is a big, like, I don't know, 40-something-year-old Irish guy, big mustache, big dude. His partner walks up, young, super good looking young black guy, very, very squared away, super intelligent kid. Walks up and he goes, he looks at the juice pouch, he looks at his partner, he looks at me, he goes, "Adrenaline hangover?" I said, "Yeah, it's better now." And he goes, "Weird, right? Sure, it just takes the edge off." I said, "Yeah, it really does." He goes, "You need another? You good?" I said, "I think I'm good." And he goes, he pats his big cargo pocket. He goes, "I got a couple right here if you need one." And I thought, wow, this shit's real. Like, it's real. So my point is that if you get addicted to that, it makes no sense, because it's not like going out and partying where, woo, I'm having fun, I'm having fun. And then 8 hours later, you wake up and your head hurts, you feel like throwing up, and it's like, oh man, I'm never doing that again till Friday. That's a different situation. And it's a social thing. And it's not like, oh, I'm gonna take this person's life, suck on their adrenal gland in their head, what? And then somehow I'm gonna get high off of that, or I'm gonna get a power rush or whatever. It's stupid to even think about that. And by the way, you want an adrenaline rush? Okay, well, it's a EpiPen. Yeah, yeah, just shoot yourself with an EpiPen for no fucking reason and watch what happens. That's epinephrine. It's adrenaline. Last night before last. Yeah, no, I thought I was kicked off for a week. I went back on just to check, and sure as shit, they just did it to break my stride. That's how they do it now. It's a crazy thing. They literally just say, "Oh, hate speech." And you go, "No, that wasn't hate speech." And they look at it, and 10 minutes later, they go, "Huh, you're right. Go ahead, go back live." And it's like, I'm not going to go back live. I did live for 2 hours, and you kicked me off, and now everybody's watching girls dance with no bra on. They're busy. Got better stuff it's like they got better stuff to watch than me talk about the economy and where the world's going and why all of this shit's a distraction. So, bottom line is, there's a basic misunderstanding between ourselves and our Middle Eastern friends. Because our Middle Eastern friends, and when I say friends, I'm clearly being facetious. Our Middle Eastern friends think that we are disgusting and we are animals and we're not humans, and that they are the only humans. Now, when it comes to what the Muslims think of us, you know, are there places in the Middle East where Christians are welcomed? Actually, yes. I mean, you look at places like Lebanon and Jordan and places like that where Christians have lived for thousands of years, for 2,000 years, and in Jordan, I just found out that there are a lot of very, very, very wealthy Christians that live in Jordan. Now, the king of Jordan, King Abdullah, is clearly Muslim, and the country is vastly more Muslim than Christian. So, what's the problem? There isn't one. Well, I think that might come from the fact that when you look at the way that Muslims look at Christ, they see Christ as a prophet. They see him as a very wise person. They see him differently than we see him, but there's some respect there. And I think that's good. When it comes to Judaism, Judaism sees Christianity as a completely disgusting, uh, uh, mistake. A false prophet gained some traction, and believe me when I say to you that they teach, and you can look this up. This is not misinformation, disinformation, other information. This is fucking facts. So look it up if you don't believe me. They believe that Christianity is because of a false prophet who dabbled in black magic, whose mother was unfaithful to his father and got pregnant by a centurion, a Roman, and that this bastard child had the audacity to call himself the son of God, and for that he was put to death because he was nothing more than a disgusting upstart. And to this day, they treat the people who worship him as the stupid peasants that they are, clearly ignorant. And that's just the way it is. If you look at how many churches have been destroyed in the West Bank, in Gaza, in Israel in general, it just is what it is, man. It's just a mistake. They just keep accidentally overrunning towns full of Christians and making them disappear. And by the way, when was the last time this happened? Last month. Last month. Yeah. Funny how those Christian towns, they just sort of disappear. They think you're coining fear. That's funny. I am not afraid of corn or bacon or steak. I just had all my blood work done. Apparently, I'm going to live to be 130. Yes, I have been getting booted. That's why I keep saying that this is not my opinion. You can go check. Because apparently those are the magic words that if you say them, whoever censors you on here actually goes and looks it up and goes, shit, he's right. We did do that. When I say we, you know who I mean. Oh, wow. Ryan Routh sentenced to life behind bars for Trump assassination attempt. Well, I'm sure that there is a lesson in there somewhere. Judas was paid in silver. Yes, he was. You will live forever. That is, well, physically, no. I'll live to be about 130. Yes, my, whatever you want to call it, my soul, my essence, my power, my electricity, or as my daughter would call it when she was little, my electricity. She always pronounced it incorrectly. That was an early sign of dyslexia that I didn't catch, but luckily we did catch it eventually. And she went on to be the editor of her high school paper and graduate valedictorian. Smart little son of a gun. Wow. Chuck Schumer claims that voter ID laws are a return to Jim Crow. I'll be dagnab. Who the fuck said this? No global recession in 2026, but period of poor growth continues? Who had the guts to say that? The IMF, the international motherfuckers, estimates for 2026 show no signs of a recession. Well, and that's special. God damn, these fuckers lie through their teeth. No signs of a recession. Really? Okay, so look, it's been years since Germany, the economic engine of Europe, has had a positive GDP. This quarter, I believe they've gone positive by like 0.1% growth instead of negativity. So technically, they're going to be out of the recession, unless, of course, they go right back into it. Now, how did they manage to pull themselves out of that recession they were in? I don't know yet. But I guarantee you it was, and I quote, because this is a technical term for it, fuckery. That's how it works. We are in a recession, or we were in a recession. Because of fuckery, we look like we're growing at 5% right now. Show me the wages. Show me the wage growth. Duckstar 2.0, don't get me started with Carney. Oh, God. Oh, Duckster, I see what you're saying. Carney, what a fucking, yeah, God. That dude's really, like, you want to talk about cruising for a bruising. Look, pal, we don't have to take your shit. Yes, you do. No, we don't. We can stand up to you. Okay, go right ahead. But keep in mind, you're standing up to a guy who's got a huge fucking ego and an even bigger checkbook. And he's on the warpath right now because he remembers all you fucking one world dilly-dalliers talking about what an idiot he was in public with a hot mic pointed at you. So I guarantee you that there's a whole lot of that behind what's going on in the world. And fuck Greenland. Yeah, fuck Venezuela. Yeah, fuck Russia. Fuck everybody. That's why he's doing this. Because his point is, hey, I'm the president of the United States and I can do whatever the fuck I want. Well, yeah, okay. Alberta is voting to separate now. I love it. I love it. I want Alberta. That sounds funny because it sounds like a girl. If Alberta was a girl, I'd marry her big old round patootie. Because let's face it, a woman in Alberta is not going to be a tiny woman. There's just no way. That name, it's not just a name for a woman. That's more of a verdict. The big question is who will control AI? The people from the Middle East, from that little tiny country, they already do. They already do. Sam Altman, let's check. Sam Altman's religion. He's Jewish. While Sam Altman hasn't publicly emphasized a specific religious affiliation, his background indicates a connection to Jewish culture, with mentions of Jewish modernists and critical theorists, and he grew up with a Jewish family heritage. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so Sam Altman, there's your fucking AI guy. But just in case, let's see, who else is big in AI? Well, I mean, I guess we could look at Peter Thiel. Let's see. He was born in Frankfurt, Germany. He went to Stanford Law School and San Mateo High School. San Mateo is in Los Angeles. All right. Well, this will be very interesting. Uh-huh. Well, he he identifies as Christian Orthodox with a small o. He also believes that Thiel has recently delivered lectures discussing the Antichrist and Armageddon, warning that forces like internationalism, environmentalism, and tech guardrails could be the precursor to the end of the world. Tech guardrails. So don't put guardrails on tech and then everything's going to be okay. Okay, let's do this. Mark Zuckerberg's religion. We pretty much know this. He was raised Jewish. Okay. Who else are we looking at here, guys? Help me out. What other people are we trying to figure out? Because let's face it, it's AI. Alex Karp. Alex Karp. Huh. I like that idea. We don't need Minnesota, but we do need Alberta. Alex Karp. Oh, Alex Karp, Palantir. Oh shit. Well, this guy's a fucking loon. He's a lunatic, man. So he's got a bachelor's from Haverford College and a Juris Doctorate from Stanford Law, doctoral studies in social theory in Germany. Well, now, in that special, Alex Karp's religion. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I just got all kinds of restricted. I just got hit with all kinds of stuff. 2 different restrictions. Oh, he's Jewish. So the guy from Palantir is Jewish too. Okay. Well, that's nice to know. Oh, by the way, if you want to see something really crazy, the third richest man in the world, Larry Ellison. Oh, well, that's weird. Larry Ellison was raised in a Reformed Jewish household by his adoptive parents. Huh. While he attended synagogue as a child, he has stated that he does not subscribe to the dogmas of Judaism. Now, what's very interesting is he is the largest single donor on earth to the Israeli Defense Forces. But, he doesn't believe in religious shit, whatever. So my point is that, the battle's already lost. So then the question becomes, what do you do about it? What do you do? And my answer is, you go to Jay Bravo's channel on YouTube, and you sign up for his courses on how to swing trade. Now, tonight, you spend whatever amount of money you can afford, starting with whatever the cheapest plan he has. You watch all of the videos in his teachings 4, 5, 6 times. You write down everything word for word until you've memorized it, and then you become wealthy. And he started off getting kicked out of his house by his parents when he was 18 because they were poor, and he started making more money than his mom and his dad combined. And they said, "Get the fuck out." So then he joined the army. And then after the army, he became a cop for a while. Then he put himself through college. He got his master's degree and became a teacher and a professor of economics. And now he is a lunatic. Like, nuts. He's got a big bouffant hairdo, calls himself Jay Bravo as a joke because he looks a little bit like Johnny Bravo, really. So he's also extremely good at what he does, and I've been watching him now for about 6 or 7 years, and he is extremely good at what he does. So the two things I recommend for everybody, if you have an IRA or a 401k and you're nearing the age of retirement, call me. I can either put everything into the IRA for you and still have you keep the metals at your house. Yes, that is legal. It's not something that the IRS advertises because they don't like it, but it is legal, perfectly legal. You can own an airplane in your IRA. You can't fly the airplane. You can own an apartment building in your IRA. You just can't live in the apartment building. You can't visit the apartment building. It must be nothing more than an investment. By the way, for those of you who don't know, get one of those. If you don't live in an apartment, get one of those. Larry Fink, yes, but Larry Fink owns everything, not just AI. Become aware, become conspicuous, become a conspicuous. No, don't become conspicuous. It's called security through obscurity. That's what you want. So anyway, all right, that's enough for tonight, guys. But the sun is seriously considering ending our way of life. So be aware of it. Why the barrel? For fresh water, because when the electricity goes off, you have no more water. Where do you the price by summer? $150 minimum. Conspiracy. Yes, they exist. They're all around us, and they're actually real, not just theories. So grab your favorite one by the balls and hold on tight and try and figure out why it is and what it's supposed to be doing. And if you can, join it or bust it up. If it's a good conspiracy, like the founding fathers, they were a conspiracy. Pretty good one, I think. If it's a conspiracy like a bunch of crazy Hollywood actors that want to drink adrenochrome, yeah, bust that up. Let's take a sledgehammer to that one. So anyway, guys, I will be here tomorrow night again because we are going to, yes, I do believe Jeffrey Epstein is still alive. No question. Don't get no plastic jugs. Do glass. Plastic, deadly. Yes, I know. I have about 2 tablespoons full of it in my brain. Well, I mean, everybody does. Not to mention the old testes. Yeah, they got plastic in them too. Which, is that like a condom? No, not really. Well, I mean, I got 5 kids, and now we know why. It's not like a condom. All right, that's my live stream. You guys take it easy. Jay Bravo, go to him. Tell him I sent you.